Hello everybody, Huckrex here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 246. And we just moved on to a new book. We're on the 3055 book, and the very first one we're going to be delving into is the House Caritas Omni-Mech. It's a 25-ton Raptor. Interesting concept when it comes to a Omni-Mech that reminds me sort of the Fleet, to be honest. 25 tons. It's a 711-0. Comes with Indo Steel. Has an XL engine, so it is what it is, I guess. If you're going to put an XL in it, it's got to be at least a light. That's why my concept. You got to speed these things up just to keep them alive. And it has 10 double heat sinks and 56 points of armor, just enough to keep the pilot from falling out. Yes, really, that's about it. When you look at the torsos, you get hit with a PPC or a clan PPC, it's pretty much gone. If you get hit in the right torso with a clan PPC, this is a dead mech. A large pulse laser is going to wreck this mech pretty good. Have a good chance of critical. Has a plethora of different modes. All right, so we got the primary version, comes with 3 LRM-5s, center torso, left torso, and right torso, with a ton of ammo in the center torso, which really doesn't matter if it's in the center or the right or left torso, because life expectancy on this mech isn't very high, especially if you're facing against clan mechs. Now, Inner Sphere, you got a better fighting chance. And with those LRMs, you can stay off at a distance, do your recon, find your target, spot for your target, and then just kind of toss out some LRMs. Now, it also carries 2 machine guns in the right torso with a half-ton of ammo, which is smart because really, a machine gun, you don't need more than a half-ton. I've never, ever in my life have ever seen a game last long enough where you run out of machine gun ammo on any mech I've ever played. So a half-ton is just a smart way to go. Heck, you know. And then you got a medium laser in the left arm, a small laser in the left arm, medium laser in the right arm, and a small laser in the right arm. So, kind of reminds me of the Fleet, like I said. It's got some good speed, being it's similar to if you ever play the Jenner to good effect, this mech will do work good for you also, even if it's 10 tons lighter than the Jenner. Same speed, less armor, not by much really, and you pretty much, this is a recon mech. You do not want to get this mech anywhere near a main battle line because, like I said, it doesn't have the armor to stand up. It just has enough to keep the pilot from falling out. Any good hit from any decent-sized weapon, and it is punching through. For armor, it can handle 1 hit from a medium laser in the arms. The legs, it can handle a medium laser. Let's let that sink in. Center torso, it can handle a medium laser along with the head and the right and left torso. But the second medium laser is punching through. And, like I said, if you get hit with anything bigger than that, even a large laser, the only place it can handle a large laser is the center torso, and that's taking all of the armor off. Unless it's a clan large laser, and it's punching through. So this is one of those mechs where you just have to sit back and run around the edges. You're kind of sniping away, doing minimal little damage, because on an average, an LRM-5, if you hit with it, it's going to do 3. That's been my experience, is that you're doing about 3 points of damage, and that's just plinking damage. So, yeah, you sit around there, go around the corners, around the edges, and you slowly just add your little bitty plink damage to the other bigger mechs out there that are doing their job. And then if something does get close, like another light mech that's getting kind of ballsy and comes up near you. You do have some decent weaponry up close to make them think again, even though they may have the same thing. But if you got a halfway decent pilot in this thing, you can keep them at bay a little bit. Now, if you got a medium mech that's got the armor to get up close and has some decent weaponry with a decent pilot, it's going to go up and say, I'm going to hunt you down, or else I'm going to force you back. Because this thing does not have jump jets, so you're looking at the avenues of how it can maneuver around, and then it's going to bully you around a little bit. So you got to keep everything at a good distance to keep the speed up and distance. That's your two main factors for keeping this mech alive. Now, then we go into the alpha version. Now, this is a little bit different. It has two large lasers in the left torso and right torso. Then it has three small lasers in the right torso, left and right arm. I don't know why they didn't put one in the center torso, but, you know, instead. This isn't too bad, but this is harking back to your Succession War style build. You don't really have anything that's really long range. It's good for beating back other light mechs, because those two large lasers, if they do connect, they're going to be going, oh, that's our rip. Like I said, if you got similar armor, like locusts and stuff like that, will have similar armor to this guy. A large laser is going to do wonders on them and start punching through and tearing pieces of them off. So it can help to keep them at bay. Now, later in the game, when things are tore up and everything, this is where this mech can shine also, especially this version, where it can start diving in at speed and then hitting with two large lasers. And it can handle it because it's got 10 double heat sinks. So there you go. It's like 16, 18 heat. You're fine. Just don't get hit. That's it. And if something does get closer, you got the small lasers to go in and hit them in the rear. And if you hit them in the rear, obviously, you know, you're going to heat up a little bit, you know, but you can do that for 4 turns before, you know, but maybe by the second or turn, even if you dive away, hitting somebody in the flank or the rear, you know, those small lasers might probably out of range anyway. And then you're just going to be cooling off. So it's not overly a big issue. Now, configuration B. Now, this is an interesting one. It doesn't have any long-range weaponry. This one seems to be designed about crit hunting. You got 3 SRM-6s. You got one in the center torso, one in the left and right torso. And you got 2 tons of ammo in the left torso and a small laser in the right torso. This thing doesn't worry about heat at all. This is what I would call a crit hunter. You dive this thing in, just like, let's say you got a grasshopper or something that moved in the area, and it has a flank that's tore up, and it's got exposed armor, let's say in the right torso or something like that. This is where you'd fly this mech in, the best ability. Get into that arc at the right side, firing arc, where you can funnel more damage into the right side, and then you unleash with the SRMs. And on an average, if you hit with all 3, you probably will get 11 to 13, 14 missiles hit on an average, because the average is about 4. You know, variance up and down a little bit of 3 and 5. So on average, you're probably going to hit with 12 missiles if all 3 launchers hit. And that's a pretty good chance of getting inside and farming some crits. Or even hit, you know, it's like, hey, I've been many times playing a game. It's like, oh, that exposed torso. And you look at it and go, oh boy, there's some ammo in there. And you cook off that ammo and explode them. So this is your crit hunter. You know, it doesn't have any range past 9. So you don't want to get this one set up where it's taking a lot of hits. So it's going to be a sneak. Try to play this one a little more sneaky, where you're going to be using your cover and concealment to get in close where you can deliver your package. All right, then we got configuration C. Now this is an interesting one. This is going similar to the configuration B. Now, this one has 6 medium lasers, 2 in the center torso, 2 in the right torso, 2 in the left torso. We've got a small pulse laser in the right arm, double heatsink, a small pulse laser in the left arm, another double heatsink, and an anti-missile system in the right torso with a ton of ammo. Now, this one screams to me, hey, I'm going after elementals. So, now you're not going to be killing off a point of elementals with this thing by any means. But if you get it close enough outside the range of their, hitting you, with their melee weapons, but you get in there, you're going to be taking some hits from their SRM pods. But if you stay outside their small laser range or flamer range, which kind of precludes your small pulse laser in a bit, but you hit them with those ER medium laser, not ER medium lasers, but standard medium lasers, and you run. That's right there. You're looking at just 20 heat, and you can possibly kill off elemental or two, maybe, and then they'll fire their SRMs at you, and then you have your anti-missile system to protect you a little bit and knock some of those down. So that's what screams to me. This is kind of any elemental mech. Now, it works good against mechs. So if you don't have any elementals, you can fly in, hit somebody in the flank or the rear, and once again, this one will do up to 30 points of damage out to 9, and then if you get it in close, you can heat yourself up a bit and hit them with the small pulse lasers. Also, I guess not. You don't have to worry about that because you got the small pulse, the 2 double heat things, so you're fine. Forgot about that. But you get in close and you can tear somebody up, a good one. You get hit with that many weapons in, say, your rear arc, they're going to hurt. That includes even light mechs. You got a halfway decent pilot in this thing, with, say, a 3. Yeah, you increase your chance of hitting pretty good. Then we got configuration D. This one has a C3 slave, Beagle probe, tag, 3 SRM or 3 streak SRM 2s, center torso, left torso, right torso. The slave was in the center torso, left torso, Beagle probe. And then you have a ton of ammo for the SRM in the left torso, 2 machine guns in the right torso with a half ton of ammo, and 2 small lasers left and right arm. All right, so this is your spotting mech. It's like, I look at this one, and it's got plenty of heat sinks. Doesn't have to worry about heating up. It's carrying its package. So it's going out there reconning, trying to find targets. If you, during the movement phase, you see somebody, you hit them with the tag. Help your brothers out with the tag system. And then you're using your C3, staying outside of 6 in case, well, obviously if you know if they have ECM or not. If they don't have ECM, you can get a little closer and help your brothers out and just start hammering away with their weapons at range using your distance. So that's not a bad mech. This is kind of like how I envision this mech kind of being for equipment wise. Now the streaks, on the other hand, I might have gone with, let's say, convert the 3 streaks over to SRM2 standards, and then give myself the ton you saved there, give myself another ton of ammo, and give myself some Infernos, and maybe another ER or a small laser or something of that nature. And hit them, it's like, oh, that's a vehicle. Hit them with the SRM Infernos, or if you see a mech that's running hot, hit them with the Infernos, or just shake and bake a bunch of elementals. That's kind of why I like it. So I'd rather have just a standard SRM2 instead of the streaks in this version. But overall, it can be useful. And if you run against infantry, you can hit them with infernos and machine guns. And a platoon of infantry is going to have a bad day. So this is everything when it comes to the Raptor. Now, being that it's an Omni mech, you got 11.5 tons of pod space. You could give this thing at ER large laser, and let's say go with what was it? ER large laser, 4 medium lasers, a flamer, and maybe a Guardian ECM. Or you can convert that flamer into a C3 system. So you got different options there. And I like the idea of having Guardian ECM. It seems that I use ECM more than I ever do Beagle Probe. It's like when you got the version D. So I could convert that Beagle Probe over to an ECM pod instead. So make myself a little bit cutting off. As they got C3, well, you're going to be shutting them down better. The only time I ever find Beagle Probe works is if you're doing a recon mission and you're trying to find something. And this is being an Omni mech, you can configure it. Say, oh, we're going to be doing a recon, put the Beagle Probe in it, maybe even ECM, and then some extra weapons to go with that. And off you go. There you go. So that is the Raptor. Not a bad mech if you keep it at a distance. Don't get it close with it. And obviously, if you do get close with it, expect it to die. And that's it. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Craig's out.